So let's dig into the video. Zachary, what really stood out to me, man, from watching your highlight video was just your ball placement of when it needed to be a 3 ball on the outside shoulder, it was there. When it needed to be a post route on a 1.5 ball, boom, in the window, it was there. And that really impressed me. Being a former quarterback, I know how tough those throws are, especially when you have small windows like you've got some of these throws, or the one you rolled out and you threw the 5 to 10 yard out route in the end zone and put it right where it needed to be. Okay, those are just things that really showed me your ball placement accuracy that you got. Okay. Now, my suggestions for your highlight video, are the following. The first thing is to add the information slide at the very beginning. Okay, you've already got one, but we want to add some other information. Okay, and this information, we want to have your name, school, graduation year, position, height and weight, exit count, email, and phone number. Okay, now the best way to really go about making this is to go on Canva. Okay, this is free. You're going to go to one of their slides, put all the information I just listed, put that on the left, put a picture of you on the right, download that, and then upload that to the very first thing on your huddle highlight video. Okay, now the reason we want to do that is so now when the coach pulls up your film, all of that information is right there at the very beginning. Okay, it's 0 seconds in, boom, 1 second in, there's your huddle, there's your information slide. It's got the tangibles of your height and your weight, your exit count information so they can follow you, and then also your phone number so they can get in contact with you, or for you being overseas, your email, so that way they can get in contact with you that way as well. Okay, and with how short and valuable college coaches' time is, that's why we want to have that there, because if they have to go find that stuff, I've seen them pass on kids, and personally, I've had to do that before. Okay, so that's why we want to have that as available as possible for them and not have anything in that hinder you and not get in communication with them. Okay. Next, make sure we remove the music. Okay, and we want to do that more so because we don't want to have anything that's going to distract the college recruiter from evaluating your film. All right. When they're watching film and evaluating, they're watching 60 to 100 kids in a day, sitting in a dark room, lamp on, listening to music. Okay, and you get in a zone, and that's just part of it. You get in a zone. Don't bother me, and they just keep going. Okay. Now we don't want that to happen because we don't want that to hinder you from them getting out of that zone. All right, I've been in there. You get in the zone and you're just trying to crank out evals. Okay, they're trying to watch kids. Which kids do they want? Which kids do they want to put on the board? Okay, and we don't want that music to pop up and boom, kind of gets them out of their rhythm, out of their zone of what they're doing. So we don't want that to hinder you in any way. All right. Next, go into your sequence of plays. Okay, and this is basically kind of how we set up in the order of your film and all your clips. All right, there's nothing that you really need to take out because all your clips really are good clips. Okay. Now, when setting this stuff up, we want to set up this in sections. Okay, and within each section, we want to set up pass to run. Okay, being a quarterback, all your pass plays and then your run plays within each section. Okay, so the sections are long TDs, short TDs, explosives, which is anything 15 to 20 plus yards down the field. Okay, and then your movements. So maybe like you got on here, there was a designed run, you got like 13 yards or something. That'd be a good place to put that one. Okay, compared to some of your other movements you've gotten, you've rolled out or something like that, or scrambled, which was a big play more than anything else. So that's where that movements kind of comes into play. Just stepping up into the pocket, delivering the ball where it needs to be, rolling out, scrambling, okay, or designed run, and just maybe not necessarily having that explosive with it. All right. And then also after that, we want to add in remaining offensive highlights. Okay, and this is more anything that is going to, it's not necessarily an explosion play, okay, but still a good play that showcases what you can do. Throwing a 10-yard dig, okay, over the middle, stepping up in the pocket, all right, just making things happen that maybe you're looking off the defender, boom, putting it where it needs to be, okay, just small stuff like that, all right, that's what we're really looking for in that sequence. Now, within each of these sequences and in these sections, okay, like I said, we're gonna go pass to run, we want to have our best plays first, okay, and we want to do that and then taper off to the next best play, and then the next best play, okay. Because, like I said, the college coach is watching 60 to 100 kids in a day, okay? And within that first minute, they're going to decide whether or not they're going to keep watching or pass on to the next one. So that's why we've got to make this thing pop as much as possible with that. And they like seeing 6, okay? They like seeing that stuff, so let's put it in there, okay? Now, the clip that I'd start out with, okay, to start everything off is your long TDs, okay? This is at the 5-second mark here. Do a good job getting your adjustment at the line of scrimmage, okay? Showing that you can communicate, all right? Boom, one step, look off the safety, give him the ball exactly where it needs to be, okay? Great, fantastic ball right there. Okay, that's what I'm starting out with, just like you got it there. Okay, then next, go into the 104 mark. All right, this is where I'd start off the short TDs. Okay, boom, same thing, putting it where it needs to be, away from the defender, outside shoulder. Great ball there. Okay, looking off. Now, one thing I will add for you. Okay, I did not mention this, is adding a spot shadow on all of your clips. Okay. So a spot shadow is something that's going to highlight you, have an arrow pointing at you, circle you, or something like that. Don't do anything that has the captions or words on it with it. Just something simple. That's all it's got to be. That way they can see you and know where you're at. Okay, that will really help you out there as well. So, but a great ball. That's what I do with the short TDs. You've got multiple ones on there. You've got some run, some pass. Okay, put the like I said, pass ones first, best ones after this. Or if you think there's one better than this, put that one on there. This is what I think. Okay, next, go into your explosives. We're going to back up to the 18-second mark here. Okay, boom. Showing off the wheels, okay? Now, I would put the 29-second one before this, okay, because this is more run, all right? So I would go with this one right here first, okay? Showing off the arm, boom, ball placement, okay? Safety stays down, I'm going to throw it over, all right? It's a great ball there. Then follow that up with that 18-second mark, okay? Then next, go into your movements, okay? This is at the 150 mark. Like I said, this is why we kind of want to move this stuff, and maybe with how many you've got, this might be in the same spot. But design quarterback run, okay? Boom, great job reading your blocks. Okay, we get 12, 13 yards. Okay, it's not the 15, 20 plus yards, but still showcasing what you can do. Okay, and then follow that up with the remaining offensive highlights. I kind of hit on that. So really, the only thing you need to do is add that information slide, remove the music, okay, and then change up the sequence and the flow of your film. And overall, this will provide a more dynamic highlight video for college coaches. Now, after going over the game film feedback, let's take a look at what divisions you should target. I'm basing this off the most recent highlight video, which is exactly what college coaches are going to do, and where the athlete can receive a scholarship right now. I want you to know this is a current evaluation off the film we just watched, opposed to projected evaluation. Okay, so with that being said, they're looking at a few criteria. First thing is the graduation year. You've got a couple years. Use this to your advantage. Okay, that's really going to help out. All right. Next, going to your size. Okay, they're going to look at your size, being a bigger quarterback. They're going to like that. All right, and your mobility, accuracy, and arm strength. That's what they're really going to look at. Now, for you, the other thing they're going to look at is being out of the country. So, how do we go about changing that? Okay, or not necessarily changing that criteria, but changing that to where it's going to help us and to where we can get ahead of that ballgame. Okay, and with that being said, the levels you should look at today for a scholarship are NAI to D2. Okay, now you may not start getting interest from these schools yet. Okay, like I said, because you're overseas. All right, you're not in the U.S. But here's the deal: you can start the communication process with these coaches through emailing them and calling them. All right, I've played with college players that were from overseas, but you got to be the one that's going to initiate this stuff. Okay, because it's a different ballgame. But don't let that hinder you. Let's go attack it and get better at it. Okay, give ourselves a chance. All right, so email and calling these coaches, start that communication process. You need to start getting your name out there through social media. Follow these coaches on X, DM these coaches. As soon as you update your highlight video, boom, send it to them. Okay, they want to see that stuff. Make sure you're marketing and branding yourself in the correct way. Okay, doing things on the field and off the field in the right way. Okay, but here's the deal: you may not necessarily have these camps, but you need to do the prospect camps like are over here. Okay, but you can also try to make sure to introduce yourself, develop these relationships with these coaches. Okay, talk to them on the phone. All right, because when you send them that midseason highlight, then if you built that relationship a little bit, okay, they're gonna know who they're watching. Okay, but here's the deal too: use social media, posting some of your drill stuff, some of the timing 40s and stuff like that. So if they would show up camps, show that on social media, send that to these coaches. That way they can see it. Okay, they want to see that stuff, that you're doing the same stuff that the kids in the U.S. are. Okay, so use that. But here's the deal: how can we also attack these levels to get better? Okay, like I said, this is where I'm projecting you just because of being out of the country. You have a very high potential if you keep attacking these things. Okay, but here's the deal: we can attack these levels to get better. But my suggestion to improve your game that translates to college football, possibly a higher division, are the following. Okay, first thing is accuracy. We talked about it, but we can always keep improving. Don't always settle. Okay, don't never settle. Catch and throw drills, simulating throwing bubbles, fast screens, quick game. Okay, drop drills, start from the ground up, because if the feet are right, everything else has got a good chance. Okay, mechanic drills, aim small, miss small. All right, in college football, the windows get smaller, so the defenders get faster. And also, here's a big one: film study. Learn to lead receivers open at all three levels. Okay, by knowing where the windows are going to be at, based on the coverage you're getting. Where's my window going to be? Where's my timing going to be like? All right. Arm strength. This is going to come through your core and your leg strength. That's going to help create more throwing velocity because you got to have more zip in college. Okay, like I just said, you got to account for those faster players. Starting from the ground up is strong. Okay, and the upper body will follow with that. All right, squats, exercises, and that deal with explosion for that power is really what's going to help you out. Okay, footwork drill work. Okay, footwork drills, shuffle and weave between and over bags, figure eight with cones, gap pressure simulation drills. Okay, have a good base while you're doing these. Okay, and have a football in hand. This will help your mobility, all right, and your pocket awareness, which can help translate to the college level. Because college coaches really are looking for quarterbacks who are mobile in football today. Because if something breaks down, you've got to be able to extend the play. All right, ball security, making sure that thing is high and tight. You can practice this when you're doing your footwork drills or sprints, because if you can't protect the football, your chance of playing is going to go down. So you've got to protect that football. Flexibility, pre and post training stretching. Okay, if you guys don't do this as a team, do this on your own. All right, that's part of that individual work that it's going to take. Because here's the deal: this is going to help prevent injury also, especially with your arm. You've got to take care of your arm as a quarterback. I'm going to say that, just take it from experience. Okay, you've got to take care of your arm. Because if you're dinged up and nicked up, that's going to hurt your chances of video, which will then hurt your chance of an offer. All right, but if you're dinged up and nicked up in college, that's going to hurt your chance on the depth chart. Because your best ability is your availability. So we got to make sure we're taking care of our body. All right, but these improvements that I just talked about are what quarterback college coaches will look at. Okay, so double down, do all these things, hit it hard, and if it translates to your video, this can help you level up your evaluation and possibly have an opportunity at that D1 FCS level. But Zachary, at the end of the day, man, everything will come down to your individual work, your outreach, as well as your marketing on social media. Okay, that stuff's going to be big for you. Okay, and that relationship building with college coaches, that's huge as also. Okay, which is why the next step is your athlete interview. We're going to get an interview with the coach and get coached on your communication and your interviewing skills, which is critical for the conversations you're about to start having with college coaches. So make sure you watch the video beforehand and be ready to go. If you have any questions, we'll be able to answer them at the end of the interview. Thank you.